And we are back for another exciting game of Entropy TD. The greatest time sucking game if you've ever wished to experience. It is very easy to lose an entire day. Because once you get a few basic ideas down, the game becomes incredibly addicting, although it is incredibly frustrating as well. I like to say nothing humbles. Oh, so we got another little yucky map here. Alright, so theoretically, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 checkpoints. You might be able to touch all of the minerals 4 times and get a ridiculous amount of money. The question becomes, how on earth do you do that with these stupid no-build areas? I'm not seeing anything good. So, how can you maximize? Ooh, yeah, we are. Everybody's kind of coming to the same conclusion of this map is a mess. So, what do you do? Alright, so I'm at least getting 1. Can I do better than that? I guess I could finish off, put 1x1s here, and open this back up so that you could get it again on the way to finish. Oh, man. This is in no rock break. McDeath is so upset that the map is going to be so incredibly complex. He's like, I'm out. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. So notice right here, we've got an overlapping 70 and 30, so we're going to do plus 100 damage. Your killing tower has to go there. You have no chance of doing anything else. There's no way to get one like through there. You can't seal this off. I don't see a way to ever hit that. Oh, what a mess. Alright, forgot to check out. Oh, and we get a whole 13 supply. Wonderful. The game is laughing at us. So 5%, 13 supply. Alright, so this is a situation where 5% is suggesting, like, remember the 5% said 250 income would be about the max. We've got a couple things in play. There isn't really a maze possible. So that means bump that 250 up a little bit. It does get countered by this big damage zone. 100 is a lot of damage. But I still think you're going to have time to income. And look at them. They go from... They don't go up very fast. So this isn't quite a... what I refer to as a blink first game. A blink first game is when the income is so ridiculously low that you get to take 4, 5, 6 of them before you even consider building. Because it's just by far the best investment. So here, I mean, you're going to end up with a ton of them. But first thing I'm going to do is get all my passes here. And now I'm just going to income for a bit. I'm going to keep an eye on... Actually, I can do better with my maze if I close this off here, put a 1x1, and kind of come at it that way. And I could even push them back up here. So there isn't going to be much of a maze. But, you know, this game is all about making the best of what you've got. So whoever's going to win this is going to do the best with a horrible situation. Let's talk towers. Let's see. What do we got here? 9 lings, quite a bit. Distant ling, you get huge bonus for being far away from the tower. But that isn't going to be a factor here, I don't think. Ooh, I think I can get the 1.6. So, don't give up on mineral spots. So look at, see how I'm forcing, I'm still getting this twice, so that hasn't improved. But now I am getting that, so I've changed the angle. Instead of coming this way, where it hugs that rock too closely and I don't get it, coming over here changes the angle, and now I should get paid. So if somebody else doesn't find that, that's a pretty big advantage. And I've got nothing to do, so I'm just going to dump the rest of my money over here into what will be my tower. Let's go back to talking about towers. Something splashy might work here, although you got to be careful. To me, I'm always looking for the wave that's probably going to decide the game. Which one of these is more likely to be abused to be the deciding factor of the game versus the others? Evolutionally, eventually you're going to kill 50 of them, and then that whether you do, let's say 100,000 damage gets you 50 kills, but 200,000 damage only gets you 60 kills. So double the damage doesn't really do anything for you. So this wave is like all but useless. It almost never decides a game. I am struggling to think of a way in which it would matter. Here, a Q is ridiculously cheap, which is bad. Normally, I hate it, but here the towers are so few, it really doesn't matter. But because it's so cheap, eventually I'm going to have 50 or 60. Actually, you're going to go way over max here. So over max is usually you start a second tower, max speed, and then your damage is roughly the same, maybe a little bit over. But because the second tower is going to be nowhere close to as strong as this one, you're going to go a lot higher than you normally would. So I don't, you might go 70, maybe even 80 before you consider building the second tower, just because there's so much there. I mean, if we had a wall break. Yeah, I don't know. So I haven't been watching damage at all. I've been laughing at the comments. Most of the folks in the lobby that play the game consistently are pretty friendly. You will have some people that are, I don't know, just your personality won't match with them, but most everybody's fairly civil. Which on the internet you never really know. All right, so here's another advanced thing. So my supply is 13, but there is no limit to the amount of supply depots you can build. So usually this plays into the game much later. The concept is called supply depot mazing, which usually helps you extend your maze. So in this case, my supply is so pathetic that it's important for me to extend my maze with that. So I'm going to actually do this a little bit differently. So I could have left this here and put 1x1s all the way up, but I'm realizing if I can get my 1x1s here, then I can use regular towers there. So that just saved 2 1x1s. It would have taken 4 here, but because I could shift this over, I got to save some. So the tower conservation there has really helped me out. So you're keeping an eye. 10 kills. All right, I got to start thinking about building. So we're going to just try and get the list of the 2025. I still have not decided on a tower. Normally, you wouldn't want something. You'd want to keep those Vikings on the ground. That's probably the wave that is easiest to abuse here. But with such a pathetic little maze, I don't think it's going to matter. So damage field will hit Vikings on the ground and in the air, so that's possible. Trigger would be funny, but you can't get it turned on. The tower doesn't start shooting until something touches it. So that isn't going to work. Two-sided isn't going to work. Discharge, I think the wave, if you type in time, it'll tell you how long. So discharge might actually be pretty good, but I think I can do better with multi. So I'm going to take multi because it has one of the best damage ratios. Let me show you what I mean. If you come in here, you hover, see it says 1.9. So if your tower was doing 10 damage, when you purchase this, now it's going to be doing 19. This one is 0.7, but it bounces 2 times, so you really get to multiply it by 3, so it's a 2.1. This is same thing, you're shooting 3 at once, so it's a 2.7. The punishment is the range is very small compared to other towers. If I look at this one, for instance, this has a base range of 7, which is this white ring, and then the bonus spots get you way down here. So if I look at the regular range is the white. Because I'm on, I can't quite read that. That's plus 80 or 60. It looks like 60. So again, Macbeth is complaining about the map, and it is an annoying one, but what are you going to do? Here, you want to keep that first one on the ground so that you get paid. So I don't think I got any minerals that wave, which is bad. Where is he at? 55. Where am I? 42.8. But I did have more kills. So that's weird. I'm not really sure what he did to do that. Because I didn't lose a lot of lives and the income's cheap, I'm going to take another one. So every time that I'm noticing that I'm about what the leader is doing, I'm going to income. I don't like to lose games because I have not incomed as much, as aggressively as I should have. So I will make sure I do that. My AA tower will win. AA, let me show you what that is. He's talking about this tower here. It only hits air, so he's just making a joke. The only thing it can ever hit is when the Vikings get put up in the air. So sometimes it's a really aggressive late game, kind of like Hail Mary. Like, okay, I'm going to throw, let's say this is a much bigger map and there's like 80 supply. You could potentially throw an AA just for this wave if it was cheap enough. So here it really is cheap. And the speed, and this isn't going to cost you much to get it max. So late in the game, you might be able to max the speed and get 30 or 40 damage on it if you have a lot of incomes, which we're going to have here. So you could get like an instant, maxed out speed, 50 damage tower that nobody saw coming, and it'll just tear through that wave like crazy. Remember we were talking about this being really good at 2.7, 4.2, and look at the range on that, a base range of 8. So it would shoot farther than this white ring naturally, and then on that range, it would be way out here somewhere. So on a bigger map, that would be important. Ooh, somehow I got most damage there. So that's good. That's telling me I probably have the right tower that I caught up so easily. And I think people are starting to realize they might be in trouble. We haven't looked at. Let's go take a look at who's in the game. So we got a lot of 7,000 folks. So like we were saying last game, those 7,000 folks tend to know what they're doing. They're not going to make any, let me rephrase that. We're not going to make any total blunders as far as like the wrong rock breaks or something. Wrong towers, like towers that are obviously not going to be as optimal as other towers if you were in the game. So here, because the maze is so short, I'm getting away with the downside of this tower is not affecting. And notice I'm way ahead now on damage. That means income. I'm actually going to double income. So that might be over aggressive. I don't know. But you'll see that these guys will catch up in a hurry as far as what the damage they're doing. This particular wave, Fraudling, for every kill at the end of the wave, it like taxes you $3 or 3 minerals. So the end of wave money will be almost nothing here. So sometimes you almost try not to kill them just so that maybe you open this so that they run straight through in hopes that you don't kill as many. Imagine this was a more classic maze where you're going in and out of this area 10 times, or this area curves way around like this somehow on a bigger map, and you just shorten yourself up on purpose. So I still won the wave as far as damage, so I still got the bonus. Yeah, I think they're in trouble. Like I said, this tower is going to get overmaxed. This would be the one wave where I would be concerned about, but I think it's so short, and 9 of them. Yeah. Big Lemmy. Big Lim, I'm not sure how we're going to say that one. He's realizing that he might be in trouble here. This tower is going to be really strong. It's going to be tough to beat. M3. Yeah, I don't. So Wind probably has a single target tower. You notice that it took him forever to finish the wave. So if you only have one tower shooting something, you can keep the other 8 on the ground. So it takes those guys on the ground a long time to run the maze. Again, imagine a bigger map where the maze is bigger. Then Vikings. Then I would have played it totally different. I would have taken a single target tower, knowing that Vikings could be really abused. And that the single turret tower is going to keep as many of them on the ground as possible. Also, with Vikings, you don't want to be queuing a bunch. If I have a maze of 50 towers, all these towers all of a sudden doing 10 damage instead of 1 means they're going to be getting everybody in the air when I don't want them in the air. Wind almost has the maze as long as I do. It's close. But I really don't think he has 10 income, though. Maybe. Again, we're way over maxing. Normally you would stop at about 50, maybe as high as 60, but because, I mean, where do you put the second tower? What do you even do? You can't put it here, it'll close. I mean, you can put it here, as if I even have a second tower. So I would sell one of these as a supply depot, put the tower here, or do I put it on the range? So sometimes you do a little test. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to let this tower shoot and this tower shoot, and maybe this one here too. So this one's on 30 damage, this one's on 40 range, and this one's on 30 damage. But which one of these 3 towers is better placed than the others? I have no idea. So again, I'm winning. I'm probably over incoming at this point. But it's better to over income and have a nice advantage late game than not have incomed enough. So we need to run this wave. So go to 80. I mean, it's absurd to be that high. Very rarely would somebody go that high, but the second tower is just going to be so much worse than the first. So they're realizing, yeah, they're So here's what I was talking about. So let's take a look. This button here, I. So he shot 11 times and did 58 damage. He shot 17 times, did 65 damage. He shot 15 times, did 75 damage. So it's saying that this tower here did the most damage. Actually, this one up here somehow shot the same amount of time. So this one isn't actually on the 30 damage. This one is. But remember, that one was freezing. They froze up here, so this tower got an advantage. So between these two, this is actually better. So either one of these two on the range. I mean, if I could actually troll them pretty badly and just do AA, just to be a complete dork. Because somebody said, you know, AA is going to win, and it would be really good here. It's probably not going to knock out Big Lem though, and because it's considered rude, I'm not going to do it. I mean, I would look at it as somebody kind of laughing at me if somebody did that. But because it can only be bad for me, I'm going to play it more straight. Just take second tower. So now I've got 6 bullets flying, 3 here, 3 here. So I might not be able to keep enough on the ground. Let's see, wind gave me sight. Let's go take a look. So he took, see, remember I said single target tower? So he did have the single target tower. He's missing 1 range up here. So he could have pushed that up a little bit higher. How am I up a little bit higher, but he's not? Oops. That's not what I was trying to do. Go back to my maze. So this 1 by 1 allowed me to shift this up half and that up half. So that's his wave. He won that wave by a lot. But that because of that tower, because he's letting those guys stay on the ground, it's a huge advantage for him. I don't know. I guess I'm not doing the up. So I'm going to notice I stopped this one at 60. I didn't go all the way up to 80 like this one. It's not as good of a tower. I'm getting a penalty here for not being able to shoot far, and his discharge isn't going anywhere either, though, so it's okay. But I think I have the best tower, and I think I should have the most income, I would assume, which is allowing me to max these towers super fast. But we'll see. Wave the life buy down. The first game I played or recorded, it was 21, so it's almost free. So I took it. This wave 150, I just don't see the value. I mean, really, really late game, like wave 35, 40, then fine. You know, dump 5, 6 of these on and hope that that's enough to swing it. But for the most part, this doesn't get used a whole lot as far as I am concerned. And remember, we were talking about this wave, how, and if you look at the life, so I saw anywhere between 1,600 and 2,500. So because my tower is hitting so many different ones, I'm killing all of them. Let's go and see if we can explain that a little better. So evolution, if you look here, it says it's going to start at 392 life. Every time you kill it, it evolves and gains a little hit point. So the next one might be 500. You kill it again, it might be 800. You kill it again, it might be 1,000. So imagine you've killed this thing 100 times. It's going to have like 10,000 hit points, and at some point you just can't do enough damage to kill it. So that's where I was talking about, even though you're doing double damage, you can't really do many more kills. So it's kind of limited as to what you can do there. So this is a wave that is really beneficial for my tower. Something splashy would work well too if you can huddle them in this area. But that 2.7 damage is, you know, powering through that wave. So I'm assuming this is going to be our last wave here. Let's see, who did more? Oh, that's the freeze-ling wave again, right? So the damage is a little misleading. Let's go here. Let's do that. We'll go max speed. So I've got so many incomes, I can just buy straight to max damage. So imagine that was AA. That's what I was talking about. So if this was an AA tower, so I'll build one on the next wave here, just to illustrate the point. Because I think he's going to die, and then we'll be able to play one more wave by ourselves, so to speak. And it isn't really going to matter where the AA is, because it's going to be able to shoot everything. Does he die? Yeah, okay. So here's what I was talking about. Let's do this. So we'll compare how many kills the AA gets compared to the kills everything else gets. So it is not great as far as the amount of damage ups I got there. So I'm only at 26. So 26, and this one has no bonus damage, but 30 damage ups. This tower is probably going to win pretty easy. Let's see how the AA does anyways. I forgot to go check everybody's income. So 1, that's 12. I told you Wind was going to have a bunch. And 8, and I think I'm at 12 too. So, and okay, so how many kills did it get? It only got 1 kill. What? What happened there? I don't know what happened there. How did it only do that little damage? These guys must have been killing them so fast that I wanted to kill something way out here so that as it was coming, it would be shot at the whole time. But so we kind of missed the opportunity there. But hopefully you've learned something again, and we hope to see you in a lobby soon. Take care.